Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Chat Movies podcast. I am, as always, your host, Lucas Ledane, and today we're discussing The Conjuring. We're also going to be doing a live trailer reaction of The Conjuring 3. You can skip to the time shown in the video down below, so skip to that if you don't want to get through the whole intro. But before we get into the trailer, I just want to give you guys my basic thoughts on The Conjuring Universe, what I'm hoping to see in this trailer, what I'm not hoping to see in this trailer, and then we'll get into it. So first of all, I am, of course, a very big horror fan, I'm a big Conjuring fan, and I'm a big James Wan fan. Now, while James Wan isn't directly attached to this as a director, he is, of course, still serving as a producer. I do believe he was going to originally direct this film, but in the end, he, I guess, didn't. He probably had other filming commitments, or maybe he just didn't feel like returning to the franchise. But he definitely doesn't need to. He has definitely built this franchise practically by himself, and it has turned into something huge for the horror world, something that I don't even think the horror world has necessarily seen before. It really was kind of the first horror cinematic universe. While it was made of as a bit of a joke at the time, particularly now, I think people are very much into the idea of this universe. They've definitely proven they're willing to spend the money on this universe. We've got almost a countless amount of spin-offs, sequels, upcoming spin-offs and sequels still to come. Like, this entire universe has just branched into something, into an entirely own league for itself. And I'm very happy for James Wan in that regard. And I'm very happy for The Conjuring in that regard. Now, however, these spin-offs have led to some unfortunate decisions being made for the Conjuring universe, mainly The Curse of La Llorona. Now, that was one of very few films in this universe I'd actually disliked. I pretty much enjoyed them all, and even The Curse of La Llorona I did think had some good parts, some interesting parts, some of the scares were good. But not only did you see most of the good parts in the trailer of that film, they really tried to play down the Conjuring connecting aspect to it. And I think that was a really big mistake for them. I don't know whose idea that was, but I think if they had really played up that this was in fact a Conjuring spin-off, they're hoping to maybe become a feature villain, I guess, possibly in the future of the Conjuring movies, I think it would have worked out a lot better for them. But they didn't, and the movie got torn to shreds, the director got torn to shreds, the movie didn't make that much money, but they still hired him to direct this movie. Now, of course, the director of Curse of La Llorona and this movie is called Michael Chaves. He also, interestingly, directed the Billie Eilish Bury a Friend music video. So if you're a Billie Eilish fan, I guess you have that to look forward to from this movie. But overall, I am optimistic about this trailer, and I'm optimistic about this film because I really do want to like it. I love The Conjuring. I love these movies. I love Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. I think they do amazing jobs in this movie. One of the things I said about The Conjuring 2 in my original review of it was that I felt like it was much more of almost a love story than a horror film, and a really beautifully told one at that. So I'm really excited to see the characters again. I'm really excited to be entering this world again. It feels like it has been quite some time, even though it actually hasn't been that long since the last Annabelle film came out, and The Nun wasn't that long ago either. But I guess with the pandemic, everything feels longer these days. So I'm just very excited to finally be getting a big budget horror film, because we haven't really got one in a while. And I hope it's good. I really do. So let's check the trailer out. I'm very excited. I'm very optimistic. But we'll see. Okay, let's go. Very Texas Chainsaw shot here at the beginning.
Hey. You okay there?
Does he look okay? Oh.
I think I hurt someone.
I think you hurt someone too.
This is Ed Warren, here with Lorraine. All right, let's get started.
Oh, I'm so happy to see them again.
Residents of Brookfield were shocked this afternoon by the broad daylight murder of Bruno Sauls.
court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth.
I like that they're sticking with the religion theme.
Of the devil.
Whatever is going
It's a nice
on,
shot.
whatever happened,
And that's a nice shot.
that was not Arnie.
It's a witch's totem. We think your family was cursed.
Witches. Back to the first movie again.
Still
It got me. It got me.
Reality.
But I can see things that your people can't.
That's why you should get out of there, Lorraine. You can see what's going to happen.
Something terrible happened.
I like
here.
that they didn't put a jump scare there. Oh, I spoke too soon, but they originally didn't put a jump scare there, and I appreciate it for that.
Satanist is not an adversary to be taken lightly.
She's doing it again. She's reaching out to the darkness.
It's kind of like that zombie dust stuff.
Is saving him worth everything you have? Because that's what it may very well cost.
Whoa.
Lorraine!
Oh no! Don't fall off that CGI cliff, Lorraine. Wow, that actually looks very good. Wow. I have to say, that looks much better than I thought it would. I definitely do feel like James Wan's directing presence is missed in this film. I feel like what was working really well about the Conjuring movies was that you'd have these spin-offs where he'd find these really great indie horror directors and give them this kind of big budget-ish film and kind of level them up a little bit and get them on everyone's radar. So I guess that's what he's trying to do maybe with this movie and having Michael Chains come in to direct. And Michael Chains seems to be doing a very good job. There are a lot of very nice shots in here. I really loved the police cars over the water. And as I said, I appreciated that it doesn't seem like they're just going for a ton of jump scares, because The Conjuring has, of course, always been very jump scare oriented. A lot of its scares do come from jump scares. But there's a very important distinction between jump scares and false scares, because false scares are the type of annoying jump scares. They're my most hated thing in horror films, where like a friend will jump out at someone and go boo, or it will build up a really tense scene and then like a rat will run past the screen and they'll just really pump up the volume, make everyone jump, and then that's it. And it just ruins the atmosphere of the film for me, and it ruins the tension of the scene. So I'm glad they're not going down that route, which is a very easy route to go down these days with horror. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson seem to be doing a great job, as they always do. They practically embody these characters. Something about, though, however, the way they're being done in this film does feel a little bit off. I feel like they've kind of lost a little bit of their warmth. That was always also one of the very welcoming things about this movie, and these two characters in particular, was that you really felt not just the relationship between them two, but they felt like a very warming presence and a calming presence in the film, because it's like, I have no idea what's happening, but these guys are professionals, so I trust them. And so I hope that they don't kind of change too much about their characters, because if you watch interviews with Lorraine Warren and Ed Warren when he was still with us, of course, they're very warming people. They're very welcoming people. They have a very calming presence about them. They're not, very, they're not very ecstatic and over the top and jolty. They're very kind of down to earth, and they're very real and very tame and likable and accessible. So I do hope they keep with that which I am a bit worried about. But overall, this does look very good. The scares themselves look quite good. I believe this is the werewolf case. I'm not sure. I know that they originally wanted to have The Conjuring 3 be about a werewolf. There wasn't necessarily anything about werewolves in this one. It looked like witches. We also saw I think that might in the corridor that might have been a nod to the nun. It looked like she was blowing zombie dust in her face. I could be wrong, but if you don't know what zombie dust is, it's this kind of chemical mix that is used a lot in countries like Mexico. So maybe that's how La Llorona connects into this film. And I believe they blow it in your face and it kind of turns you into a zombie in the sense that you'll do kind of anything they tell you to. You kind of have no control over yourself. You'll get hallucinations and then you will wake up and not really remember anything. So I think that's what that could be, what's being blown into her face there. Of course, we also have the witches totem. So if they're going back to witches, they might, of course, have some references to the original Conjuring as well. And I know a lot of people, by the way, say, oh, how are they going to do all this and still base it on a true story? This is very loosely based. Whenever you hear based on a true story in a film, even these ones, which are admittedly based on more truth than others, they still take massive liberties, of course, with the story, with the plot and stuff, because you have to, because real life, quite frankly, is not as exciting as movies. It really is not. And in real life, ghost hunting, I'm sure, was more 90% of them waiting for a response than actually getting one. So yeah, I have high hopes for this movie. It looks very promising. I hope that it's good. I really do. And I may even consider forking out. You know, it's funny, we'll get into it more in the breakdown, but the Premier Access and the Premium Video on Demand models, which seemed like such a out of left field idea, so at the beginning of the pandemic, only like a year now later, seems like a pretty viable choice. But that's my thoughts on the Conjuring 3 trailer. Stay tuned for my breakdown, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some more videos down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.